Ah, yes. This video, folks. Oh, this video is just going to be straight up making fun of some stupid stuff, because the internet is weird and wacky, more so than usual, because the ideology is just borderline cognitively impaired at this point. Oh, and speaking of impaired, a post by someone named Terminally Online Leftist. I don't need to say anything, do I? You may as well be named High Drug Addict. It's exactly what you think it is. At the very least, they're honest, I suppose. I went to look at one of their videos called Grand Theft Auto 6 and Escapism in Video Games, and the second he quoted a tweet from I Am Yes You Are where he said, GTA 6 looks like modern-day America. I thought people played video games to escape reality. Yeah, you know where someone with the name Terminally Online Leftist is going to go with that when they lead with some head-up-ass pretentiousness like, I'm sure you know what they mean by insert explanation X. And you look stupid when you spew out piss-poorly thought-out reductionism like, it's because there's black and brown people. And yet you keep piling on the stupidity when you point out that prior titles also had black and brown people. The same people that find GTA 6 abhorrent will sing San Andreas' praises, the best-selling PS2 title of all time, despite the fact that the game is loaded with genuine demographic diversity. I mean, hell, you don't encounter any potential European ally in the game until you leave Los Santos and meet an aging drugged-out hippie named The Truth. You spend the bulk of the game allied with either CJ's brother Sweet, his sister's Latin boyfriend Caesar, or the Chinese leader of the Mountain Cloud Boys, Woozy. And at no point does this dippy one ever make the connection, maybe it's not the demographic diversity. Maybe, might be what said demographic represents in the present day. Then again, he's called Terminally Online Leftist. That's like expecting a junkie to analyze the world of the sober. It requires a higher IQ and the capacity to seek and understand nuance, and these plebs are basically no more than sloganeering drones. It's never going to happen. And honestly, when I see this pattern, my mind just dismisses them and goes, ugh, peasant. Because once you see this pattern over and over again, bothering with anything beyond dismissal is a waste of your time, it really is. Or becomes the subject of a YouTube video. But he posted this, a gamer that says, yeah, they're basically the bad guys, and of course we have a swastika. That still isn't at 45, it's the Hindu version at 90, which stands for good luck, peace, and prosperity. Next to a pentagram. You know, for you to be called Terminally Online Leftist, clearly screeching about Nazis all damn day, yet none of you can even meme a bloody swastika correctly. Really, no one can clown leftists quite as effectively as they clown themselves. Their breathtaking stupidity really knows no bounds. And then, of course, we have one that calls to remove all the minorities. Now it's a fictional faction that's pure evil and eats the babies, but also wears cool power armor and uses pretentious Latin phrases. So apparently you want to be ruled by the smartest people, but speaking Latin is where you draw the line of pretentiousness. Interesting. I wonder how they would feel about the minorities in my home country. Let's see them wriggle their way out of that confrontation. Why did a minority group here succeed, but then a different minority in a different land did not succeed? Oh, I wonder if minority status in and of itself is not a qualifying metric of anything, and perhaps there are some other metrics you might want to consider. Ones that would make you very, very uncomfortable and would turn me into the world's smuggest silverware. We need a game where the good guys look like this, the most pro-queer, pro-feminist, pro-democracy, pro-everything good type of guys who aesthetically look evil but are completely good. With someone asking, why do we need a game where the good guys dress us like Nazis? You do realize the NCR Rangers in New Vegas look like this, right? Moving on. But one of my subs sent me this part of the thread where he says, because it's cool and Nazis don't deserve cool aesthetics, telling me, look at this vacuous moron. And I looked at the banner and I said to him, did you ever consider that account is maybe a troll? Because, I mean, if you go to his page, he has pro-Trump memes. His bio reads Albanian nationalist, Talimancer, supporter of God's global homo-gender, pro-gigaqueer, I am gay for women. Yeah, I suspect that's probably a troll, dude. But all joking aside, it really does say something when these people are draping themselves in digital adornments to signal their faction, and anyone can easily impersonate them because they're basically some absurd gay clan. They have no creativity, no ethics, no brains. Their ideology makes no coherent sense. It's like that Afro article I showed V, and neither one of us could figure out if it's satire, because the wacky stuff they spew is perfectly in line with the regime. And so I was asked, because I pointed out previously, the Nazis and the Soviets, they had cool aesthetics, but why can't the left now replicate any of that? Well, I would avoid the Soviet Union or any communism, Marxism, any of those labels, and just focus on what really powers their grievance: envy. And in that sense, they really like a more extreme version, actually. See, the Soviets were big into things like fitness and creating something special because their storyline was it's revolt of the workers, so the workers need to be exceptional to create this spectacular new vision they had in mind. The modern version of leftism is all about extreme equality. Nothing can be better than anything else. Everything must be inoffensive. Now, it takes all of 5 seconds to realize that that's fucking lunacy and utterly antithetical to reality in every capacity, which explains why everyone who adheres to this nonsense is a mindless zombie with paste for brains. It's also why none of them look aesthetically pleasing, because in accordance with their ideological rigidity, they can't. They must look bad. That's their uniform. Objective standards of beauty is the uniform of their antagonists. Actually, no, I take that back. They can look offensive as long as it's offending those they don't like, hence the parades. It's also why their morality is not based on anything they deem good. It's really just antithetical to whatever their perceived enemies believe. But if you're thinking, whoa, that's actually true. Are these people really that shallow and evil? Yeah, not only really evil, but also really, really stupid. And I know it's cheap to just call everyone who disagrees with me an idiot, but when you see these kinds of posts and the fact that it makes no sense at all, and to explain why does not exactly take a much brighter mind, at least in my opinion anyway. I don't think I'm particularly smart at all. I can just pinpoint inconsistencies rather well and use common sense. I can learn and apply pretty well, and that's about it really. Like, that to me is the basic principles of learning. If that is considered something only very smart people can do, then holy sweet Moses, I'd be terrified at such a prospect. I don't know what's lacking in their upbringing. My money's on strong religious foundations. But really, what are we supposed to do with people who are both incredibly arrogant, yet have no viable reason to be? Morally up their own arse, but they can't acknowledge basic reality. They think they know everything, but very evidently, they know bugger all. And as a consequence, they can't be taught anything because when you try, it either falls flat or they screech like banshees. Zombies who know nothing of life at all and think history starts at World War II and will call anything to the right of Mao fascismus. I honestly don't know what to do with those who have some kind of socially induced learning disability, other than laugh at the absurdity of all of this. You tell me, because really, I got nothing. Cheers for watching, and once again, I apologize for nothing.